right, everybody. Welcome back to the Dane and Wayne Show. We're finally back in studio.
I know. I'm like, I haven't seen you in the flesh in like, can I?
3 weeks?
No, don't
No,
touch him. Don't
no.
touch him. I'm not
No,
going to
we're
touch him. Yeah. Wayne's here. I'm here. We're back.
We're
in the
actually
same
here. We're not
place.
digitally talking to each other. Yeah.
What episode? 18?
18, yeah.
Nice, nice.
Hey,
Feeling good.
something happened this past weekend.
Good. What
Oh,
happened
wow.
this weekend? Or last weekend, I should say.
Yeah. So we talked about it last week. Big week coming up, and they took care of business. I mean, plain and simple.
Washington was talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I said Jaden Daniels, what they were going to come up here and do.
Mm-hmm.
Washington talked a lot of mess. How do we feel about all of that, Wayne?
It was great to do what we did, or we. I shouldn't say we.
I know, right?
I had nothing to do with it.
Let's.
The Birds took care of business. We said, last week I was like, all right, I was feeling good after the game against the Rams. I was feeling pretty confident, knowing that they were hosting, and then. The talking heads start with the Jaden Daniels love, and he's gonna
on the Jaden Daniels love last week.
Yeah,
it
talking
was
about
nauseating almost.
Right, talking about he's gonna be, he's gonna take this team to the Super Bowl as a rookie and be remembered forever. Blah
Greatest
blah blah.
thing, sliced bread.
Yep. And I think the Eagles. I think the revenge factor played more of a factor than they were letting on, or that anybody else was letting on.
It was like they had this quiet confidence where they weren't saying anything, but they were saying just enough.
Right.
No, I know what you mean.
They had that week 16 game where they lost, with Kenny Pickett in the game, and people started discounting them as if they were not as good anymore.
Like they were a throwaway almost.
As if Kenny Pickett didn't play the game or anything. Like the same thing was happening during the broadcast with Joe Davison.
True.
That is a demolition, I should say.
55 points is a lot of points in an NFL game. The double nickel,
especially, exactly, the double nickel.
That's a lot of
most points in NFC Championship game history. So,
I told you how confident I felt. You were just as confident, and I don't feel like it was an overconfidence, but like you were looking past Jaden Daniels and Washington. You were just like, I feel like, we have our complement of players, or the Birds have their complement of players.
Mm-hmm.
Washington has their complement of players. No knock against, Jaden Daniels.
Right.
But like from the get-go, you saw it from the get-go. What did it have? An 18-play drive, 17-play drive?
An 18-play drive.
And got 3
they
points.
Got 3 points out of it. After that drive, I was like, that's a win. That's a win right there. Just getting 3 points, or only giving up 3 points. And then, that was great to see one play.
I mean, give 26 the ball and get out the way. I mean, you heard my a lot of cackling, laughing down the sideline and the replays. Yeah, that was hilarious to watch, to see them in that moment. And first play of the game right off the bat, touchdown.
Yep.
I think Slay said something about it, and I might have texted you about this. I was like, I don't want the defense out there right after an 18-play drive.
It's true.
But
I think I texted you and a couple other people. The defense is going to be exhausted.
So
they just went through 18 plays, and then they're coming right back out. I mean, you love to have 7-0 on the score, or 7-3 on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
But it was, hey, it worked out. It worked out. Jaden had some nice plays, but you could tell he was rattled back there. He wasn't scrambling as much as he usually does. There was a couple of plays where they did let him scramble, and that wasn't great. But hey, he's gonna get his, just like Lamar's gonna get his, and
not last week.
Right. I just mean, like, he's gonna get some scrambles. There's really nothing you can do about it. You can key on him all you want. It's kind of like the Birds with Saquon. Like, you can key on him all you want, but he's gonna get his eventually.
He's gonna get his 100 yards.
But I think my main takeaway was Jalen looking like he did back in the Shane Steichen offensive coordinator days.
Back in 22, looking like a professional QB.
Throwing in rhythm. That touchdown to A.J. Brown, the speed out was great. I mean, he was making decisions quickly. He's getting the ball out of his hands. That down the sideline to Goddard was great.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a ton of throws that you're just like, where was this guy all year?
Well, the fourth down that I think we talked about that in that moment. You were like, yo, that's not ideal, but it was a moment that they needed when he hit him. And Tom Brady even said it on the broadcast. He was like, yo, he has to step back, plant his foot, and let the ball go, and that's what
Yep.
he did.
He did.
You know, so
It's almost like they should let him do that more often. Like maybe let him throw the ball down the field more. He throws a great deep ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, I'm just like, as soon as he lets that ball go, I'm like, oh gosh, it's like one of those Joel Embiid unadvised threes. Where you're like, no, and then he makes
it goes in. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Because it's just a low percentage throw. I mean,
was
on 4th and 5.
And it was 4th and
5. It's like the tipping point of the game. They're only up 2 at that point. Washington had just scored. And hey, credit to Sirianni for going for it.
AJ beat him clean off the line of scrimmage, though. And the ball had to be right there.
Yep.
So,
and it was.
You know,
it worked out. I don't love the.
I don't want to be in that situation on 4th and 5.
I would love if they did that on 1st down or 2nd down.
I feel you.
But
I agree.
3rd or 4th, I don't like low percentage throws. But hey, it worked out this time.
Who do we want to give some credit to? Like, to me, it was a total team effort.
Yeah.
You know, like, did we throw everybody gets a game ball, or there's certain people you're like, yo, I feel like this person deserved a little bit more?
No, they all just played really well.
Absolutely.
And especially with the offensive line shuffling around with Cam out for the first half, and then Landon Dickerson getting hurt. I mean, they're both warriors trying to play. It's crazy, but hey, they.
Well, he looked like he was on like a half a leg like the whole game.
He did.
And then he almost tagged out.
Yeah.
And then
and Cam's like, hey, I'm coming in. So it's a good thing that
he was on one leg.
Good thing they activated Cam before the game, or not activated, but just left him active.
Had him there.
Because it was really just emergency purposes, and then an emergency happened.
But
yeah, I mean, the theme of today's episode is, are Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni underappreciated in this town?
I'm gonna say absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say absolutely. Because it's always, and we talked about this since week 4. We talked about this going into the season, Wayne. It's always, what have you done for me, and why doesn't it look the way that I want it to look? Mm-hmm. And the Eagles from the door have kind of said, yo, this is the way that I'm going to do it. I mean, we don't agree with Sirianni's going for it analytics chart, all the time.
Sometimes, yeah.
But it works out, and I feel like he's grown, Jalen's grown. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, different degrees of underappreciation, I think. We had an episode that earlier in the year that was, is Nick going to survive the season?
True.
Because it didn't look good, and he was mouthing off the fans and whatever. But obviously he's doing something right, and he's getting these teams ready for the game. And
absolutely.
He must have that going for him. Obviously he has a really great Hall of Fame level defensive coordinator in Vic Fangio that's really turned the season around from what it was last year.
Oh, good.
I mean, the defense was just the whole reason why the
defense was at the bottom a year ago.
Exactly.
And I think I asked you or said to you, if they get to 15 or 10, does that make a difference?
Yeah.
And what are they, number 1?
Number 1.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, and Kellen Moore really showed some new stuff this past weekend. I was impressed with the jet motion that he had, the little pop pass to Devontae, the running plays to Goddard,
the inside zone plays to Goddard.
Yeah, trusting
off the motion.
Yeah,
all right,
trusting Jalen to run those speed outs or those rhythm throws. I was critical of Kellen Moore going into back. I guess even the Rams game, Packers game, where you weren't sure
what we were getting.
Was it Jalen that was the problem? Was it, this time it just all worked out.
To me, though, the level of criticism that you were hearing from 2 playoff wins was mind-boggling, I think.
Well, and I think I talked about this the last couple of weeks, it was because the expectation is they need to get to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Correct. I don't know if a performance like they had against the Rams would have beaten Washington. I don't know. Maybe. Might have squeaked by.
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he looked fantastic. He looked like he did in 22.
He looked clean.
If he can replicate that next week, then they'll be in really good shape, especially with the defense, the way that they're playing. Nick, like I said, we had kind of counted him out earlier in the season, and I don't know. I I want to give him credit. I do. I
No,
really
we
do.
we have to give him credit, Wayne. There's no, you know what I mean? We can't teeter and be like, because we all remember the 6-game meltdown. We all remember the Niners coming in here and beating us into a pulp. And
Yeah,
then
we
and
do.
then and the
Exactly. That's
Cowboys.
why I
You know?
have pause. Because he wasn't able to right the ship last year, which
but
means
we're not living in the past. We're
I know.
not.
I get that, but he wasn't able to right the ship, which is what a lot of the criticism came from, was because if you're this CEO coach and you have the finger on the pulse, you should
Right.
be able to figure this out.
And re-steady the ship and get it back pointing
And it
in the
just
right
never
direction.
happened.
And it never happened.
No.
But we felt that way. There was this uneasiness going into the bye.
Mhm.
And I feel like after the bye, they came together as a unit and said, yo, this is what we do well. This is what we're going to lean on. And it doesn't matter. You can see it literally doesn't matter what anyone else says, because Jalen says it. Nicholas says it. The defensive players say it. You know, Jalen Carter's playing out of his mind. Zach Bond's playing out. They all say the same thing over and over and over again. And they're winning games doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know, is Kansas City a formidable opponent? Absolutely. They got 2 Super Bowl rings. But
Well, 2 in a row, 3 overall for most of them, right?
okay.
So, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, no. It's a yes, but it's not like a definitive
So
me.
let me
For Jalen, yes.
Okay.
But it always comes back to, what have you done for me lately? And
In
obviously,
this town it does.
And obviously,
In this town
what
it
they
does.
did on Sunday was incredible, and everybody's flying high about it. You know, Jalen keeps the main thing. Doesn't. So what the big thing for me?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't crumble. He doesn't let the moment get too big for him.
No.
Like
No matter what.
he seems to,
Right here.
back in, at Alabama when he was replaced by Tua. And then he came back, and the following year came back in the semifinal and had to play for Tua and won him the game. I think that's where it comes from, really.
I mean,
it's just
anytime, even if you don't know if he's sad, mad, or glad, man, and it's always the same thing. And what else would you want out of somebody that's leading your organization or leading your team?
That's true. Because the head coach does enough of that for you, right? He wears enough of it on his sleeve.
You know what Nick's thinking.
So,
you know what Nicholas is thinking.
Yeah. You have to have in that marriage, you have to have one person that's straight and not
never rattled,
going crazy, never rattled. And you have to have you don't have to. You don't have to have a crazy person, but it works if you have one person that keeps the main thing and one guy that sometimes flies off the handle, though.
It can work well.
He was gracious in his victory with Zach Ertz this week. Gave him a big hug before he even saw Dan Quinn. He gave Zach Ertz a big hug. Made sure that everybody saw that.
He sought him out after, like you said.
I didn't love
what
the Gatorade bath after the game.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't like a Gatorade bath. It's just the same concept as selling snow from a divisional playoff game.
You celebrate for the actual trophy.
Let's celebrate for the real
actual
trophy. Yeah.
I got you. I hear you.
Do you know about the NHL superstition where if they win the conference, they don't touch the trophy?
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
So
I got you.
Before they go to the Stanley Cup, they get a conference champions trophy.
Yeah.
And the captain, they try to present it to the captain. And for the most part, the NHL team's just like, nope.
No,
I'm not touching that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I felt like that a little bit. I'm like, this isn't the goal. I mean, yeah, it's great, but it's not the goal.
You said that. You've been saying that from the door. You were saying like, yo, we're not celebrating.
Not celebrating the division.
No.
Not celebrating a playoff.
And I'm not gonna say we're not celebrating it, because it's an achievement.
Yes, of course, yes.
It's an achievement that you should, be proud of. But I hear you that the main thing is still the main thing, and it's that actual the trophy. So
I still haven't been able to watch highlights from Super Bowl 57. Like I can't. If they play it on NFL Network and I see it, I'm like, nope, I am not doing that. I can't.
I turn this on.
Cannot do it. It's just too painful. for how they lost the game. But yeah, we'll see. They seem to do well with a revenge game, so we'll see what happens.
I'm ready for. I want the game to be tonight.
I know. My wife was like, Did you and the guys decide what you're doing for the game
Oh, we're sitting
on
still.
Sunday?" And I'm
We're-
like, "It's not this Sunday.
we're
It's
sitting
next
still."
Sunday." Yeah, we
So-
all said to each other, yeah, we can start at somebody's house, but if it goes sideways, we're all going
we
back.
should just go to each other's houses, man. Like, set up a party at everybody. Come on, man. Set up a party at everybody's house. Each quarter, go to somebody else's house.
Oh man,
Wayne's like, no.
the wives and kids wouldn't be up for that.
I know. I hear you.
No,
So
if it was just us,
we're putting it in the universe right now,
yeah,
though.
yeah. No, but she was just like, "What are we doing this Sunday for the game?" And I was like, "It's not this Sunday. It's next Sunday. We still have to wait another
we still
week."
gotta wait another week.
Oh my god!
Not gonna use all my energy this week.
I know. And the Pro Bowl was this week. You had some of it on earlier.
I did.
It's like the loser bowl anymore. It's like they're down to like the fifth alternates. And then you see the team pages on Twitter that are like, "Congratulations to so and so for getting to the Pro Bowl."
Do you remember, like, and I know you remember this. I'm talking about Joe Montana, Barry Sanders.
Oh yeah, they would actually take it seriously.
You know what I'm saying?
It was after the Super Bowl,
Like,
and so everybody got to play
they used
in
to go
it.
to Hawaii too.
They used
right?
to go to Hawaii the week after the Super Bowl.
Now,
It was almost like too much.
I'm showing my dinosaurism.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember it too. I remember watching the game, being like, "I'm kind of tired of football at this point. Like, I've watched it for so long.
I hear you.
This is as an 8-year-old or a 7-year-old. Watching Barry Sanders, running circles around these, the AFC.
Steve Atwater.
Yeah, that was actually when they kind of cared. And then
they used to tackle.
Sean Taylor laid out the punter, and that was the end.
That was the end of that. That is a quality reference right there. You can look that up. You can definitely find that footage of him laying out.
Man, and Peyton Manning talking about Mike Vanderjagt as drunk,
liquored up
kicker. Yeah, that was great.
We got to stop.
Some good stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was afterwards, and yeah, they used to do like the longest throw. So like Brett Favre would be out there throwing it 75, 80 yards.
80 yards.
Dan Marino and Jim Kelly back in the early 90s. Jeez, that's crazy. Now they're playing dodgeball, and they're like,
they have a spike competition. I saw like who can spike the ball, and they rate it on like a scale. Yo, we got to stop talking about the Pro Bowl.
But it's like, who would even want to go anymore?
It's Orlando.
Great.
I mean, Disney.
No
one cares. No one
Mickey
cares.
and Minnie. My kids love it. It's just like the happiest and the saddest place on earth, all in one. The most expensive place on earth too. My goodness.
Facts.
Yeah.
If you want,
I'm actually going there in March. I'm not going to Disney, but I'm going to Orlando to visit friends. But we're steering clear of Disney. We're going to
no Disney,
Universal, and the kids have never been to SeaWorld, which I've never been a huge fan of SeaWorld, but the kids would like it. So.
Nah, the kids will definitely love it. My wife loves a good whale. She does.
I couldn't even keep a straight face
sorry,
for more than 5 seconds.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
We
were trying to tell the kids about Shamu and about the killer whales and the how the trainers used to get in there, and then they would push them out until something bad happened. We're like, let's not get too close. They're called killer whales for a reason.
Yeah, they are.
Oh man, my dad would try to get us to sit in the splash zone without telling us.
I did that for like a half a second.
Yeah,
I did that for half a second, and I was like, no.
Let's sit down. Let's sit down close. It'll be fun.
Unless it's like a 100-degree, one of those 90-degree Florida days where you're like, all right, I'll sit here. Yeah. But nah, like I said, I did that for 5 minutes, and my mom was like, come on. I'm like, no. Get out of here. I'm going to be right here.
It's Jordan's mom.
Yo, sure.
You can't get these wet.
I'm going to be right over here.
Oh, man. Good. So that'll be fun, yeah. I think I'm actually ready to talk about the Sixers again.
What?
The 4-game win streak has me.
Did I hear that correctly?
I actually watched some of the games.
Can you play some like intro music? I can't believe you're saying this. Yo, play.
I know.
Said he wants to talk about 21.
I swore off of them until they went to 500.
Last week you were like, no, was it 2 games
2 weeks
in a row?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not talking about them until they get to 500, which is a lofty goal, of course. But hey, they're only 4 games out of 6th again.
2 games back at that plan.
Yes.
All right.
But
so where do you want to start with the Sixers? With the 4-game win streak.
Sure, yeah.
All right. Big game from Tyrese from
Tyrese,
0.
yeah, of course,
Nice.
yeah.
How do we feel about him? How do we feel about?
I mean, he came out today saying the difference is he's enjoying playing again. He's trying to uplift the guys, trying to enjoy himself instead of trying to do too much, which you could tell from the beginning of the season he was trying to do too much.
You call that like game 1.
Yeah.
You were like, why is he trying to do so much?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
He's trying to be like AI out there in 2005, trying to just take 50 shots. It's like, okay, it's not going to work.
But you don't need him to take 50 shots,
No,
man.
you don't.
You
got Justin Edwards.
Yeah,
all rookie team.
You know who I actually see they miss, man, Wayne, is McCain,
Jeremy
man.
McCain. Who would have thought?
I did not think, like, I knew he could ball, but when you see his speed with Maxey, yeah, they fell under a star with Maxey and McCain, I think. And I didn't think McCain or Maxey was going to be anywhere, you know, where they are right now.
No, not where they are right now.
So,
I thought Maxey would be good, but never like an all-star level, which, you know, he got left off of the all-star game this year. But
25 kind of gave him a present by being who 25 was.
Yeah, of course.
Is what played out, I think, you know.
Because everybody looks at the two of them and is like, man, if 25 had half the work ethic of Tyrese Maxey with his physical gifts, like, it's kind of be unstoppable.
Think about how crazy that is, though.
I know.
Yeah, it's wild.
I said this earlier. I've said this on this show before, but like I remember just watching Andre Iguodala as a kid, and you know when he was, you know, in the I guess mid 2000s, late 2000s, I guess. Just like he was just so physically gifted, but couldn't shoot worth a lick.
No,
couldn't hit free throws.
He would dunk on everybody.
He'd dunk on everybody. Play good defense. I'm just like, just get in the gym and put up some shots. Like it's not that hard. But, you know, when you get the money and you're just like,
hey, he won a Finals MVP.
He won a Finals MVP. He was a sixth man. But okay. Yeah. No, But then you remember, like, I mean, who of us who hasn't sat at our desk and been like, yeah, I don't feel like doing that right now. I mean, it's the same thing.
Work is work.
I feel like getting in the gym and putting up shots?
No, work is work.
No, work is work. Exactly.
You don't want to, you know, you're like, I'm good today.
Yeah.
And
from our perspective, looking at a guy who could make multi-millions more than he has just by doing a little bit of work. I mean,
and playing a kid's game.
But he's looking at it like, yeah, it's work is work. Just like any job or anything, even if a dream job, it's still going to become work.
Yeah, because you're doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah. And you have to perform. That's why I was like, when I was a kid, I would be like, I would love to be like a sports writer, get to go to all the games and all that stuff. But then you look at it as a job, and it's like a deadline. You got to hit this deadline. You know,
it would get to the point, like you said, where you're like, as much as you love it, it's work. Yeah. And you're like, I don't feel like working. We all have those days. So
yeah, they get to go in the locker room and talk to all the players. Like, man, that'd be awesome. But then, like, no, they have to drive down to the NovaCare complex every day. Talk to the players.
Like, I don't want to do that.
I wouldn't want to do that either.
So, but
yeah. But anyway, let's go back to the Sixers.
Yeah, 4-game win streak. I like how Maxey looks. Have there's been a podcast P sighting?
No, it's Pinky.
Have we?
Pinky is still tendon.
You were annoyed at that.
Oh my gosh,
you were annoyed at that. You were mad. You were like, yo, did he tap out of the game for his pinky? And then I saw somebody else post it. Like, yo, when you sprained your finger back in the day, didn't you just tape it back together?
You tape it to your middle finger and you go back in, especially
I'm
when
not a pro athlete, and I'm not going to say, podcast P, you do you. But Wayne was pissed. All right.
Yeah.
Tape that finger together and get back out there.
Because I saw he tapped out, and then they're like, yeah, left pinky. I'm like, did they just say pinky? Did they just say pinky?
Yeah, you text
like, come on.
Yo, for real? Don't you tape that up? I was like, it must really hurt.
Guess so. I mean, he tore a tendon or
Hey,
ligament? I don't know.
if you tear a tendon, all right,
I don't know.
podcast P, you
Yep.
keep
He can still hold a mic for his podcast, so we're all good. I mean, it might stick out a little bit, like Baldy's pinky.
How
Yeah.
do we feel about 21 though? Is he coming back this season? The two of them together. How do we feel about that?
He was doing handstands at practice the other day.
For real?
Did you see that?
No, I did not.
He was like
see
putting
that.
his feet on the wall and like doing.
So he's ready to go then.
And he went through a full warm up yesterday before the game.
All right.
I don't know. I don't
Look at
freaking
your
know.
face. You're like,
I have no idea what's going on with him. Nobody will tell us.
Yo, I didn't see the handstand. So if he's doing handstands at practice, he's ready to go. You are limber enough if you can do a handstand to play NBA basketball.
At 7'2",
21.
260
Get
pounds.
back on that court, man. Did you see you know what? I'm not going to talk about his pockets. The games missed and the salary earned.
Gosh.
All right.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about that?
He's played 426 games. He's missed 400 games in his career.
120.
Well, yeah, the 400 games is $125 million.
Man. All right. You know what, Joe? Great job.
Hey,
great job.
If you can do it.
Yo, Sixers management finds a way to give these players or these young athletes millions of dollars for little return on investment. So,
yeah.
They
probably lead the league in
least return on investment.
Return on investment. Yeah.
You need to diversify that portfolio. Let me stop. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess on the flip side, they're getting a lot from. They got a lot from Tyrese before he got a deal. They're getting a lot from McCain before he gets a deal. You know,
so what are we? I'm bought in, but there's no place for them to go this season because I don't see how Joe stays healthy. You need 6 weeks to win an NBA title is what it takes from like when the playoffs start to when the finals is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Joe staying healthy for 6 weeks.
Well, he's the reason they're losing in the second round. So
okay.
They're just gonna...
Yo, God. Can they? Is there any moves on the table that you would make right now that you're like, we're gonna trade?
I think Joe would come back immediately if they traded for Jimmy Butler. Like Joel would be like, "All right, I'm back."
What's Jimmy gonna? How old is Jimmy? Is Jimmy the same age as playoff P or
34?
So they're both 34.
I think so, 35 maybe. I don't know.
All right, let me think. Do I want Jimmy or do I want? Damn, I hate to say this, and it's probably just me remembering that Jimmy, when they played with Jimmy, they actually won, even though 25 still wasn't doing any. I'd probably take Jimmy over, sure. Podcast P.
Yeah, just trade him straight up. Why not?
Okay. The money probably doesn't work though.
No, because
the money doesn't work.
No, you'd have to. Jimmy would have to come with somebody else. Probably have to be a 3-team deal with some draft picks going around. I don't know.
Management move playoff P for Jimmy Butler.
He's not playoff P. Not at all. He hasn't gotten out of the second round either.
Yo, we gotta stop. Let's stop. All right. Now we're
this is the
on
year.
The hate.
This is the year. They're gonna just go on a run because everybody's hurt, and it's just gonna be Maxey having fun with 4 G League guys. And
I love Maxey's energy though, man. He's always positive, and it's not easy to always be positive with so much craziness in this world, man. But he finds a way to let that positivity feed on the people around him.
Yep. And
he if he could get one other person around him that could stay healthy, he wouldn't feel like you said he's Iverson in 05. Mm-hmm. I got to shoot 40 shots. I got to do all the lifting. He trusted his teammates, though, over the last couple games with the assists, moving the ball, cutting to the basket and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't.
I mean, last time they won 4 games in a row, then they lost 5 in a row or something.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
For every 4-game win streak, here comes the 5-game losing streak with the Sixers.
They've had 2 4-game win streaks in this season and only have 19 wins total. That's hard to do.
No, it is win. It is.
You've won 8 games basically back to back.
I'm not going
and only 11 more sporadically throughout the season. Oh my god.
So, what do we want to? Do you want to?
I'm gonna let you rant about
my hater of the week. Yeah. All right, I got a pie. I got a sandwich of haters this week. I got Nick wrong I got Colin, and I got Cam Newton. And all three of these people who have their own spaces to put out information out there, y'all got to chill, man. Cam, I think I heard him say if you put Jalen Hurts in the AFC, he wouldn't make it or it wouldn't be as like, that's crazy. And Colin always talking about, Saquon or Jalen not being proficient at his job. Let the man breathe. And Nick Wrong, you are just guzzling red Kool-Aid, all right? You need to chill out as well. Nick Wrong, Colin, and Cam, y'all are my most valuable haters this week. And, yeah, go Birds. Because go Birds. All right, I'm going to stop right there.
Cam Newton's assertion that the Eagles wouldn't make the Super Bowl if they were in the AFC.
Yes.
I mean, they went 6-0 the last 3 years against the AFC.
Yo, we can pull
They
up
beat the
record.
Chiefs last year. I mean, yeah, the Chiefs, they always talk about, hey, they're a different playoff team than they are regular season.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But we not concerned. All right.
Yeah.
We got a good team.
Yeah.
All right. I like our team. Go Birds.
Yeah, the talking heads are just already going nuts. And
guzzling the Kansas City Kool-Aid, man.
They're calling it a big upset if the Eagles were to win, which is like, okay, the Eagles winning in 18 and 52 Super Bowl 52 was a big upset.
Yes,
they were 12-point dogs.
And correct.
Yeah, but 1.5 points.
That's not 1.5 or
barely
2
an
points.
upset.
That's exactly.
Yeah. I think people betting on the Chiefs they think the fix is in. I think
that's what I'm hearing.
Basically because of everything that happened in the Bills game. I mean, you see it on both sides. You see everybody trying to draw a line down where Josh Allen was, and if he got that, and then the same thing with Kincaid, the down before going down and probably had that first down on third down.
But to me, didn't Kincaid have the ball in his hands to catch the ball, and the game's still going on?
The Bills had a chance.
Okay,
they absolutely had the chance to win. And Shakir was wide open.
Shakir was wide open.
And Josh Allen had just panicked. As soon as that cornerback blitz came, he panicked and he just ran backwards and threw the ball up. He had his man out in the flat. He should have known he was there. We would have been roasting Jalen if that would have happened. So
well, they roasted him for taking the safety. That if he did what his instincts might have or not thought had him do in that moment, he would have threw a pick in the end zone. It would have been a pick six, Wayne.
Maybe.
All
right.
You were like, because you were like, yo, I can't believe he took that sack. And in my brain, I was like, yeah, he took that sack, but he didn't give up 6.
It's true. 2 is better than 6.
I'll take 2 over 6.
I agree.
Man.
And yeah, you could. That was the rep. You could tell Cam was hurt because he just gave up the pressure immediately,
right?
And gave up that safety. So. Yeah. So what are our feelings a week out from the game? I don't want to go into too much detail. Next week we'll do a big preview, but
yeah.
I mean, what you seem to be pretty confident.
You
right?
see what I got on right here?
Yeah,
man? I got my Minister of Defense. We got the green on, and it's go Birds, man.
Yeah.
Like if you got a problem, Kansas City, it's go Birds.
Yeah. The way I look at it is, at a high level, versus 22, how much better have the Chiefs gotten since 22? Their defense is a little bit better.
I will give you that I'm concerned about Spagnolia's defense. He knows how to create pressure. He knows how to bring linebackers. He knows how to move his defensive ends. The safeties play well. Cornerbacks play well. Yo, I know what Spags can do, but I also trust Fangio, and I also feel that Nick has grown since 22 and can figure out a scheme to come up for a week from now is how I feel.
Absolutely. Feeling the same way. Same exact way. The only pause I have right now is about Kellen Moore and where his head's at with New Orleans. And for me though, if I were looking at the 2 opportunities, stay here, build your resume, or jump ship for New Orleans, I mean, don't you think that if he stayed here and had more success next year,
he would get
more opportunities to be there?
I agree.
I mean,
but how many places has he been OC now? 3?
Yeah, Dallas.
All right.
LA,
so he feels in himself that he's been
Sure.
seasoned, is what he's saying. He's like, yo, I got the seasoning.
I'm sure.
I believe
I'm
in
not
myself.
saying I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it.
Right.
I'm just saying, you're looking at the Saints roster and that GM.
No.
You're just like, really?
Since Drew Brees, what have the Saints really done? Okay. You know what I mean?
They went
they-
2-0 last year and they scored 50 points a game, and everybody thought they were.
Stephen A.
Stephen
was
A.
telling
blessed
me
them.
that they were
Yeah.
they were the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah,
After week
that's
2,
all
and
they've
I was
done.
like, "We talking about the same Saints?"
Yep.
But all right.
So yeah, we're all feeling confident so far. Next week we'll have a big preview of the big game. I don't know if we're allowed to call it a Super Bowl. Are we allowed to say that?
Listen. I don't. I'm just gonna call it the Eagles Trophy.
Oh gosh!
Let me stop.
Wow!
Let me stop.
Wow! All right.
Delete that part. He's like, don't
Confidence. The confidence on this man. All right.
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna take that part out. But go Birds.
Go
Wayne, it was
Birds.
great sitting down
Yeah.
with you again, man.
Good to be in studio. We should be in studio the next few weeks.
Absolutely. But if we need to do it digital, we can figure that out.
Yeah, we'll see.
and
You
I
never know with the kids
You know,
getting sick. And
life
bringing
starts
stuff home
life
from
in.
school. Oh my gosh, it's the
So-
worst. It's like a vicious cycle this time of year.
Leave a comment, drop a
Yep.
like, tell Wayne you hate his shirt. Tell me you hate my shirt. All right.
Keep it to John.
Go Birds.
All right. Go Birds.